Patrol, and I'm here with Tom Connally, and he is with Connally Consulting. And we are excited to launch a new show for DownHome Up Close called Monday Motivation. And Tom is going to be bringing us little short segments of motivation every week, and we're just really looking forward to launching that soon. So, but first we wanted to just get to know Tom a little bit and just figure out, who you are and how you came to Ellis County, and just, what you're excited about for this new show. So tell us about you.
Back to me. Well, thanks for having me, Amy, and this is a great opportunity to get to know the county better, get to know the people in Waxahachie better. We moved here last May a year ago, in the middle of all of the pandemic. And
not a great time to move.
No, not a great time to move. But what was great about it was everybody was so cooperative here, and that just confirmed. I mean, my wife and I, Annie and I, chose this place.
Yeah.
We chose to come here.
Yeah.
We did the research. We looked around, and the big selling point was the people. And how we were treated when we were here visiting, and of course, a precursor to all of that was every place had to have a town square. And so you had a town square, and then you had great people, and so we decided we wanted to come in and be part of this.
That's great.
And so it's an opportunity to be part of it.
Yeah. So you're former military, correct?
I am. I'm a retired Marine. I am.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about your time in the service and just
wow.
How that impacted you.
Yeah. Well.
How long do we have?
It could be a long story, because I spent 30 years in the Marine Corps. I went to the Naval Academy for 4 years, and I got commissioned in the Marine Corps in 1983. And I was trained as an artillery officer, but in the Marine Corps you do, as an officer, you do 50% of your time, average, outside of what your primary occupational specialty is, because all Marines are trained to fight. And we're all trained to lead. Every lieutenant is trained to be an infantry platoon commander, the basics of it. And so I did 15 years in the artillery. I did 15 years in other jobs, from recruiting to human resources. I did the last 10 years that I was in the Marine Corps. I spent a lot of time in strategic planning and future force development and future warfighting concepts. And then in there, you go to schools a little bit. You go to the artillery school and the advanced artillery school, and then the Naval War College, and you pick up a master's degree here, and so you get some opportunities to get educated and learn some things. And but across all of those things, I had a wide array of experience, and then on top of that, in all of your jobs, you do operations and logistics and all of the tactical stuff that goes with it. Typically, when I say I was a Marine for 30 years, people's eyes roll back in their heads and they think of one of two things. I went camping for 30 years, right? Or you spent all your time, fighting somebody. And I did fight in a couple of wars, and I had the great honor to lead 3rd Battalion, 11th Marines during OYF-2, and when things were interesting and very unstable right after the march up and the fall of Baghdad. So that was a great honor. I was honored to command different units at different levels. I spent time in Iceland. I commanded a security force company in Iceland, and that was a great experience, very interesting for a couple of years. And in my last command, I was headquarters battalion commander of the 3rd Marine Division in Okinawa, Japan. And so I took my whole family over there, and we did some other things while we were there, but it was a tremendous experience. My daughter learned to speak Japanese, and my son and my daughter have great memories of that that duty station. My wife does too. I think my family would go back without me today. But
What an amazing experience.
it
though.
was.
Yeah.
It was an amazing experience. But we've lived all over the all over the country. I've lived all over the country. We've moved back and forth across. My wife jokes we never had a short move. It was always from one coast to the other, from one side of the world to the other side of the world, and that was all those are all great experiences. As you meet all kinds of people and cultures, and we take for granted that the culture in the United States is similar, but it's not. And and of course, with every Marine that comes to us, those Marines come with different experiences, different life experiences, and so being a leadership coach, all of this funnels back. But when I retired from the Marine Corps in 2013, I went to work in the defense industry for 5 years, and I worked for a couple different companies as a director, and I kept finding myself in boardrooms talking about, and in proposal rooms talking to people about strategy, organizational dynamics, and leadership. And I was trying to write an epic essay for my daughter. She was getting ready to graduate from the Naval Academy. She graduated, and she's now captain in the Marine Corps. And so I started to write this epic essay, and of course, immediately I said, maybe my son's going to want to do this too, so I should think just a little more broadly. And it kept getting longer and bigger, and it was really
Expanded.
it started to expand, and I said, this is going to be a book, but if I try and write this big long book, what am I going to say that's different, and is anybody going to read it, and would it make a difference? And so I refocused and said, this is for my kids. You make a commitment to yourself as you write these things, and what you believe and what you think, and so I had no intention of the book being anything to do with a business. But as I was writing it, I said, this is what I want to do every day. I want not write every day. That's hard work. but I want to work with people and help them become better leaders. And I look back, and I'd always been involved and always taught since 1988. And that's a long story that I won't go into. But when I started looking at time management and looking at goal setting and values and how to improve organizations and help myself get better, but along the way I said, I can do this with all of my people that work for me. And so I started doing that, much to the chagrin of some of the people that work for me, but I started doing that, and I said, look, if you want to understand me and you want to work better for me, then you need to understand that this is what I do. This is the way I think. These are how we lay these things down. And so there were several epiphanies along the way in my career, but I've been doing essentially what I do now for 30 some odd years. I went back and looked, my mission statement is to help people, leaders and businesses, right? Leaders and organizations to improve their performance personally, professionally, spiritually, and physically. And that mission statement was something that I wrote 15 years before I got out of the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
And I said, why am I in the Marine Corps? And that was, as a result, we all go through some bumps and challenges. You look at yourself in the mirror and say, why am I doing this? And what am I doing? What's my real motivation, and why do I feel committed to this? And so when I decided to try and make a business of this, I said, and my wife's, Angie, God bless her, she went through 20 plus years of the Marine Corps with me, and 28 years of marriage, and she said, how long are you going to do this? And I said, for the rest of my life. She was like, really? I was like, yes, this is my mission. This is not just my job. This is not a business. This is not a business in the sense that I'm going to ramp it up and sell it in 5 years. There's reasons to do that, but this is what I want to do. When your friends start telling you that this is what you should do, you go, maybe I should
Yeah.
think about that.
You listen to that.
Yep,
Yeah.
you listen to that.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's the long story. There it is.
Well, I just feel honored that you've been all over the world and lived in so many different places, and yet you guys chose Ellis County, Waxahachie to call home, and that's just really, that's special. I grew up here, so
Yeah.
I've visited a lot of places, but I've never really lived anywhere else, and so it just means a lot that it warms my heart knowing that the people here have welcomed you guys in and been kind, and that's what we want to be about, and so that's awesome.
Yeah, well,
And we're glad to have y'all.
well, thank you so much. It's been great. It's been a great year.
Get all that past
we
you.
that first year, and it's a different approach when you've just lived someplace for 2 or 3 years and you know it's going to be the end. Now we spent the last 10 years before we moved here in Northern Virginia, because that's where the Marine Corps left me, and because my daughter was in Annapolis and my son was still in high school, and all of those reasons that people have. But we always knew that we weren't going to stay there.
Yeah.
That house was never intended to be the house, the forever home. And when we came here, we said, look, and this is a different approach. We're going to build something here. When you live someplace for 2 or 3 years, you don't necessarily invest in the people. You don't invest in all those relationships. You don't try to get to know who the store owners are downtown. You don't worry about that.
If you're going to be moving on soon.
Well, you get to know them, but you don't think about it the same way. And when you start thinking about it the same way, wow, every day is an investment.
Yeah.
Every day is an opportunity to make a difference if you know that you're going to be there, So.
Well, we're really looking forward to hearing just your encouragement and your passion coming through these Monday Motivation segments. And the first one's going to be July 5th, correct? Yes.
Right.
Just after the holiday. So y'all be watching for that. And so just welcome to the little family, Ellis DownHome. And we just look forward to having more from you. So
It's my pleasure. Thank you so much.
thanks, Tom. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.